This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
I'll never forget the day when you and I first met. I thanks my lucky star of all the little baby guitars. I felt the magic when I held you in my arms, ukulele. I take you with me from Bangkok to Waikiki. And the greatest thing about the joy you bring is I don't worry about the thing. Or when I hear you sing ukulele. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I love you, ukulele. I love you, ukulele. I love you, ukulele. I love you, ukulele. You're the sunshine in my life each day. Ukulele, I love you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, in this show, we talk about everything in the sun, and tonight is about music and a very interesting, fascinating little instrument, a very underrated one, the ukulele. And joining us to talk about this interesting instrument is Teacher Try of Ukbox Cafe.
Hello, sir.
Hello, and
Good
welcome to
afternoon.
Philippines Uncut, Teacher Try.
Yeah, it's very nice to be here.
No,
thank
the
you,
pleasure.
Thank you for having us, having me.
The pleasure is ours. Actually, I'm so excited about this show because I was introduced to the ukulele by a friend of mine just recently, and I never knew that the scene here was so developed. But before we jump into that, let's talk about you. What is your background?
Well, I'm a voice major, and I've been singing on and off for the longest time. Actually, 22 years. So
Wow.
I've been active in the bands and the music industry. I had this boy band back in 2000, ASAP Days, etc. And
You were part of a boy band.
I was.
Which band was this?
It was called Idol Zone back then, but I was in the second batch. It was called Full Force.
Okay.
So era ng ano yan, Jeremiah, etc.
What kind of music did you, I mean, what kind of songs did you sing? What's your specialty when you were into that scene?
Well, back in the day, I was in choral singing.
Ah, okay.
So after that, actually, when I was 9, I was really active in church. So I did choirs, and of course, professional choral singing. We joined contests, competitions, and then I was active in the band scene. Genre of music would be jazz, standards, pop, R&B,
Wow.
alternative.
So pretty broad, no? Pretty
Really
broad
broad,
exposure and
It's been so
practice,
long. It's been so long. That's why.
Over 2 decades, and you've certainly accomplished a lot. And I mean, let's talk about instruments. What instrument was your specialty?
Well, the first instrument actually that I learned, drums, when I was in grade 5. Then I joined Pangkat Kawayan and Banda Kawayan. So yung mga wood, Kawayan instruments, almost all the instruments ng kawayan, I know how to play it. So then rondalia, of course everybody joins rondalia when you're in elementary.
Yes, yes.
So after that, I tried learning the guitar when I was 14 years old, and I got really addicted to it. I fell in love with it. I don't sleep. So I got good at it. Then learned the piano, more on the piano, not the keys, the piano. and little flute, saxophone. I was planning to learn violin, but sadly, I got in love with another instrument, which is the
Ukulele.
ukulele.
Now, you seem like a very all-around musician. Like you sing, you play the drums, the piano, the guitar, the boom boom. I mean, all these things. Does it run in your family?
It does. My father used to be a professional musician, aside from being a businessman and an athlete. So my mom comes from a clan that also sings. So
There you go. There you go. It's genetic.
so
Both sides.
when I was very young, I could really carry a note or two.
Very good. Very good. And then today, what is your main occupation or preoccupation?
Well,
these days?
I'm running some of our family businesses. Aside from being a partner at Jukebox Cafe, we have this gasoline station somewhere out there.
Okay, cool, cool. But then
Check
you're
it out.
a teacher as well. I mean, you teach music.
I
aside from being
I wasn't
jukebox.
able to practice, but right now at Jukebox Cafe, yes, I teach ukulele
Okay.
and some inputs, sort of a workshop.
Yeah. Now, okay, let's talk about your transition because you got involved in a lot of different musical styles and practices. I mean, from the classical, then you went to the guitar, and then now the ukulele. How did you transition from the guitar to this?
Well, it was 2008 when I got interested with it. But when I was 9 years old, every time I see my uncle playing his ukulele, I thought it was easy. So every time I grab it, tried playing, it was so hard because I was a kid. but back in 2008, I watched this guy, a Japanese dude, playing a song that I really liked that I used to hear a lot when I was very young. And it was an instrumental
Yeah.
that he did with his ukulele. So I got mesmerized and I want to learn this and I am going to learn this. But sadly that time, I didn't know where to buy. So I'm old school, I didn't want to purchase online. Niisip ko, baka hindi makarating sa akin, something like that. Because internet back then was not that safe. So back in 2012, I saw this video again because I lost interest. I was so busy, so I didn't have an ukulele with me. So I tried going inside the mall, and I saw this video again. This time I saw a different Japanese dude, and his name is Jake Shimabakuro,
Who's recognized to be the virtuoso of
the best in the
ukulele.
world, the best in the world. And
Amazing.
I saw him playing this very popular classic, beautiful song from Queen, entitled Bohemian Rhapsody, and he played it flawlessly with a 4-string instrument. And I told myself, I am really going to learn this, and this time,
And that's
whether online, I'm going to purchase it.
And that's a good got you started on your road to ukulele,
Yes,
the world of ukulele.
yes,
Now, okay,
yes.
for the lay people who are watching this, let's talk about the instrument. It looks like a baby guitar. No, I mean, I'm holding one up now. It looks almost like a toy, right?
Yes,
I mean,
it
the
is.
uninitiated, the untrained. I mean,
It is.
right? I mean, let's talk about it. Why is it called the ukulele to begin with? It sounds a very funny sounding name.
It's a Hawaiian term, actually. I don't remember the exact origin of that word, but it just came from a native Hawaiian word, which sort of transcends to flee, something like that. So there are many names before for this native instrument, but it originated actually in Hawaii and was brought by Portuguese immigrants. And later on, we could talk about it if you like.
Sure. And so, that stereotype, because, when people talk about this instrument or think about this instrument, they automatically think of, some guy in a Hawaiian shirt and a
Yeah.
straw hat underneath a mango
Yes,
tree or something
yes,
like that, no?
yes, yes.
Playing and just chilling, no?
True,
So it really is, the origin of this is really Hawaiian, from the islands.
Yes,
It's an
it is.
island instrument.
It's a Hawaiian instrument, but right now we're trying to, of course, preserve it.
Yeah.
But we're trying to orient people that there are a lot of options with this beautiful, underrated instrument.
Yun nga eh, kasi, I was going to ask you again, I mean, this is something that lay people, like me and many others, I'm sure, that's a perception they have that the ukulele, that's how you say it, no?
Yes,
A lot of people say ukulele.
You
But
could
it's
also
actually-
say that,
You can
but,
say it, but the real is really ukulele.
Ukulele.
And the perception is that it's not really a serious instrument.
True. Sadly, sad but true. Sad but
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
and they mistakenly call it guitar until now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And-
it looks like guitar. Just
Well,
shrunk down.
what's funny, I was in a restaurant somewhere in Quezon City, and this waitress approached us. Sir, yan po ba yung bandurria? Crazy.
Bandurria.
Crazy,
Even
crazy.
farther off, no?
Yes,
Bandurria.
crazy. Well, it's true, it's really underrated, but we're changing that now. Especially, we have a very popular advocate in the likes of Jake Shimabakuro, Aldrin Guerrero, and a lot of popular ukulele virtuosos out there right now.
And they're showing really what can be done with this instrument,
Yes,
the kind of
yes,
music you play and
yes.
you can create.
Yes, true.
Now, teacher, what is the difference essentially between an ukulele and a guitar?
Well, I tried correcting myself after 29 batches of workshops, because before I had this research and thread that states rather that the guitar is not related with the ukulele. But I tried doing a new research on it, and it showed that it falls on the category of the chordophones,
Okay.
which the guitar is also included. It's inside the lute family.
Okay.
So they are related technically. String.
I mean,
Since
basically,
that
it's a string instrument, right?
Yes.
And,
that you use fingers to play.
Yes.
Now, the main difference, the aesthetics would be the same, but the main difference would be the tuning, and of course the scale.
Yeah.
It's obvious the scale, but the tuning is quite different. The tuning of an ukulele or a ukulele could be found if you placed a capo, like this one, a capo on the 5th fret of a guitar.
Okay.
So basically, if you do this would be the chord that you've been doing with the ukulele. The standard tuning for ukulele is G, C, E, A.
Okay.
So there are other alternate tuning which uses the tuning of the 4 bottom strings of a guitar.
Yeah, and we can see that it has 4 strings, no?
It has.
Guitar has 6 strings.
It does.
So
The guitar has 6 strings and it uses a different tuning. The problem, or not the problem, but the disadvantage may be for those people who has a different sound preference.
yes.
So like for instance, me, I'm a jazz ukulelist, I'm a jazz finger stylist. I'm quite fond of that ringy sound.
It does have, I mean, it does have that again, the stereotype, that ringy sound, that
Yeah.
kind of like that island sound.
It does. which is actually very relaxing for me and to some. And of course, I've been playing the guitar for 24 years. There are times now when I play, I miss the low notes. But what I did with missing those low notes is trying to play with a full band, or trying to incorporate playing ukulele with another instrument, like for example violin,
Yes.
harp.
Yes.
They complement each other with flute. I've tried it all, and it's so very relaxing.
No, absolutely relaxing. In fact, you know, before we came on cam, you were playing some tunes, and I have to say, you know, it just brings you that nice, happy place. And even that video
Sure.
you showed of
Yeah.
Ukbox Cafe, which we'll show later and we'll talk about later. Really, it does seem like it evokes a lot of happy feelings.
Well, that is the main thing with the ukulele, especially me as a ukulele teacher and an advocate. I want people to think of the ukulele as sort of an outlet, an avenue of relaxation, and I want them to experience the relaxation that I get every time I play my ukulele. When you're stuck in traffic, before I used to get really pissed off, especially with the traffic jam here in a country, but now I'm kind of getting excited every time. It's so portable.
Absolutely, and I
So
think that's
portable.
one of the main advantage of a guitar. Now, you can take it anywhere.
Yeah, whenever
You can
I'm
bring
stuck
it
in a heavy
anywhere.
traffic jam, I'll just grab my ukulele at the back, and it really excites me because that's the point that I'd be able to compose songs.
It brings out, that's your creative moment.
Yes,
In fact,
precisely.
we have
I
to
see.
stop for a break, but when we
Alright.
come back, we're gonna talk more about ukuleles, how to learn, and the A to Z's of ukulele.
All right.
playing when Philippines Uncut return. Guys, stick around because more ukulele when we come back.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
I'll never forget the day when you and I first met. I thanks my lucky star. Of all the little baby guitars, I felt the magic when I held you in my arms, ukulele. I take you with me from Bangkok to ukulele. You're the sunshine in my life each day. Ukulele, I love you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, in this show, we talk about everything in the sun, and tonight is about music and a very interesting, fascinating little instrument, a very underrated one, the ukulele. And joining us to talk about this interesting.
Waikiki. And the greatest thing about the joy you bring is I don't worry about the thing, or when I hear you sing.